So let's piece some things together. We've got a right wing that doesn't exist. We've got a Jewish star, which is representing a blue moon and acts as the controller of the collective consciousness. We've got the systematic destruction of the feminine counterpart to the male in society. Feminism was first instigated by Jewish intellectual women. An intellectual is more of a label than a description, but the intellectual Jewish women, who for the most part were a collection of lesbians, paedophiles and sadists, now most of them were huge self-loathers, and as far as it meant to be a woman, they saw it as an oppression, in the sense that a woman should not be expected to do anything, especially nothing that was asked of her by a man. So the women have grown up amongst all this Jewish propaganda, and it has degraded the women in society to such an extent that the woman, for all intents and purposes, committed suicide. And the men, left alone on the wretched earth, are beginning to go quite crazy. Now, when the men go crazy, they tend to lose their logical faculties, and together with the illogical men and the death of the female, we have ourselves a perfect mania. Chaotic conditions are ripe for revolutions, and the Jews, we say Jews, but it's the fake Jews, have known this from the beginning, that if you take the women away and weaken the men, you can manipulate society to any end that you desire. So the right wing, which doesn't exist, used to comprise of those women who fulfilled the purpose of the woman in society. I won't go into that role. And together with the men who defended both of them. Since neither of these exist anymore, this is the context by which the right wing no longer exists, and all the forces of the world succumbed to leftism, which is the rebellion from the order of God, who made our path straight. Now the Jews with their blue star are the falsified right wing. First they destroyed the right wing, then they remade it under the purposes which they designed. For the most part, the right wing is a straw man that the Jews used to demonise those who you would deem to be righteous. Those who have the best interests of the society in which they live are not permitted to have those interests, as they will receive the same treatment that the Jews gave to Jesus, who were offended by the righteousness of Jesus. And in the end, their offence led to them murdering him in cold blood. This is the same end that you would meet if you were public enough about your condemnation of leftism. So the right, in the context of Jewish mind control, is a straw man that's used to demonise the self-interests of your nation. And they use the women primarily to do this, since the women were destroyed and rebuilt in the image of Jewish mind control, mostly lesbianism and paedophilia, that they are able to emasculate their men and effectively take control of the nation. And this they've had planned for the entirety of America and Europe together, with the Muslims being a battering ram used to create strife and conflict in the latter days. The mind control is seated. Now we just need conflict in order to bring in martial law, or however they plan to further tighten us. The left and right game is really a lie, and what it will come down to is good and evil. Suffice to say, evil is winning, but evil never wins in the end.